Among the city's many sons, Grant Sullivan, a tall man with a charismatic smile and ambitious dreams, was an aspiring entrepreneur. With only the clothes on his back and a bright vision for the future, Grant was determined to rise above his humble beginnings. He grew up in a modest home where financial stability was a distant fantasy, deeply etched in his memory. His father, a factory worker, had preached the virtues of hard work and honesty, but Grant, dreamier and driven by a different hunger, often sought quick ways out of mediocrity. A few months after seeing the Montclair estate for the first time, Grant attended a charity gala hosted by the family. It was an opulent affair filled with sparkling chandeliers, the melodies of a live orchestra, and elegant guests wrapped in the fabric of wealth and privilege. There in the center of the ballroom, he first met Isabella Montclair, the only daughter of the estate's owners. With cascading auburn hair and a presence that illuminated the room, Isabella was not only beautiful, but deeply generous, known for her charity work. Grant was dazzled by her charm combined with her family's wealth. He devised a plan to win her heart, weaving elaborate tales of his aspirations and clever ideas for business ventures, painting a picture of a shared future punctuated by wealth and success. Isabella, despite the underlying currents of her family's traditional values, found Grant's enthusiasm captivating. She viewed him as a breath of fresh air in a world stifled by luxury, a man who sought something more than material gain. Enchanted by his stories and the spark of ambition in his eyes, she soon fell for him, her familial concerns melting away like frost under the morning sun. Their wedding was a grand spectacle held at the estate, attended by the crème de la crème of society. As Isabella slipped into her wedding dress, a jewel-embroidered white gown that sparkled like the stars, they exchanged vows, pledging their love, blissfully unaware of the shadows lurking on the horizon. The early years of their marriage glimmered with splendor as Grant's business, a startup in technology, gained traction. He thrived under Isabella's support, and the Montclair surname offered him access to influential people. They enjoyed lavish trips to Paris and gourmet dinners at exclusive restaurants, where they sipped on the finest wines while laughter filled the air. Yet as the seasons turned, darker clouds began to loom. Grant became increasingly absorbed in his work, propelled by the very ambition that had once entranced Isabella. The hours turned into days, and before long, their conversations dwindled into brief exchanges. Isabella's attempts to draw him back into the warmth of their shared dreams fell on deaf ears. Feeling neglected and isolated, Isabella turned to philanthropy, immersing herself in the causes she cared about: the welfare of children in need, environmental preservation, and educational initiatives. It became her beacon of hope amidst the emotional chasm building in her marriage. Then came the harsh winter that would become a catalyst for change. A devastating tech market crash crushed Grant's business within weeks, unraveling years of hard work. The news hit like a storm. It disrupted the fabric of their lives. Faced with financial ruin, Grant spiraled into despair, retreating further into himself. The once promising entrepreneur was now a man weighed down by shame and bitterness. Isabella, with the resilience of her upbringing, tried valiantly to support him, but the toll of the bankruptcy opened up wounds in their already fragile marriage. She felt the distance grow, as if hiking a mountain where each step upwards pushed them further apart. In a desperate bid to regain control over his life, Grant turned away from Isabella. The love they once shared evaporated. He framed her as a reminder of his failures. Time moved forward, but their connection shattered as he filed for divorce, leaving Isabella bewildered and heartbroken, her world crumbling like a house of cards. As Grant ventured into single life, his surroundings transformed. He was suddenly enveloped in a whirlwind of parties, opportunities, and fleeting connections. It was during this time that he encountered Sarah Whitman, a vibrant and carefree artist who sparkled with creativity and charm. She opened his eyes to a life painted in broad strokes of joy, spontaneity, and artistic expression. With laughter that filled the air with sunshine, Sarah seemed like a breath of fresh air, and they quickly grew close. But while Sarah radiated warmth, her roots were starkly different from Isabella's. Coming from a modest background, her artistry often encountered struggle, and resilience became her canvas. She lived for the moment, craving experiences over material success. However, shadows followed them. Although Sarah offered Grant the freedom to rediscover himself, the ghosts of his past lingered, threatening to drown him in waves of guilt and regret. Their relationship simmered with excitement, but was often marred by Grant's tumultuous reflections on his previous life. One fateful day, while attending a community art exhibition with Sarah, Grant stumbled upon an old photograph of Isabella, framed and smiling amidst children she had helped through her charity work. The sight hit him like a tidal wave of emotions. Memories of shared dreams, laughter, and love flooded back, whispering of a life he had forsaken. Haunted by both his past successes and failures, he grappled with guilt that pricked at his conscience. As he stood in front of that photo, he finally understood the impact of his decisions. He had not just divorced Isabella, he had also abandoned the values they shared in favor of fleeting gratification. Conflicting emotions surged within him. Was he running from his true self? Or was he merely seeking solace from the pain he had caused? Sarah, sensing the disturbance in Grant's hardened mind, implored him to share his burden. That night, under the star-drenched sky, he hesitated but ultimately bared his soul, the story of his love for Isabella, his dreams intertwined with anguish, and the choices that brought him to this moment. Her understanding shifted him. Sarah was not Isabella. Their paths intertwined differently, but she possessed a wisdom that stirred a reawakening within him. Should he seek forgiveness? Should he carry the weight of his choices? Or could he reshape his canvas anew, learning from the past while embracing the present? Amid this emotional enlightenment, a part of Grant yearned to connect with Isabella one last time, not to rekindle old flames, but to seek closure. Setting aside the fear of facing his own vulnerability, Grant reached out to Isabella. Their meeting was awkward, charged with unresolved feelings and unspoken hurt. Over coffee that lingered bitterly, he apologized for how he had treated her, for his abandonment during her time of need. Isabella listened, her eyes reflecting a blend of hurt, strength, and understanding. In that moment, Grant realized that the person sitting across from him was not just a shadow of his past. She was a symbol of his journey, one he had completely disregarded in favor of a transient escape. Isabella, too, had grown, finding strength through her experiences. She had risen from the ashes of their marriage, channeling her emotions into her charitable work. As the barriers fell, they spoke honestly about their dreams, their regrets, and the lessons learned. For the first time, Grant saw Isabella not just as his ex-wife, but as a partner in that journey, a person deserving of growth beyond their shared history. Years passed since the pivotal meetups, and Isabella had established herself as a sought-after philanthropist, inspiring others to join her mission. Grant, too, had evolved, immortalizing his ambition in revelatory technology while nurturing a heart conditioned to seek deeper connections. Eventually, they did not rush back into romance, but an authentic friendship developed, built on trust and shared values. They partnered on charitable endeavors, offering help to those in need and fostering connections among individuals looking to uplift their communities. Together, they planted seeds of their shared passions, creating a nonprofit called New Foundations, which provided scholarships to underprivileged youth, a testament to the resilience that rekindled their bond. Life, they realized, was not merely about the money accumulated, but about the legacy left behind, the love planted in the hearts of others, nurturing the growth of selflessness and compassion. The veil of fortune had illuminated paths hitherto unseen, unveiling the richness of experiences that transcended wealth. In the heart of the city, the Montclair estate thrummed with laughter once again, an enchanting tale of love, missteps, and redemption shaped into an enduring legacy of hope. And as gardens bloomed, so did the spirit of their journeys, woven into the tapestry of life that transformed through understanding and growth. Thus, the story was not only of an American man torn between wealth and experience, but a testament to how love, when nurtured, unfurls beyond the confines of fortune into invaluable legacies that flourish eternally.